Good morning, everybody. I wanted to come on in and show y'all some of the snowmen of January that I have. I will start with this guy here. This is a set of stamps that I actually got from Etsy. And I forget any kind of name to it. But this is the set. I just think these are adorable. They're kind of almost a prim look to them. And here's this sweet little snowman. He's wrapped his little leg around the candy cane. He's hanging on his little candy cane. I used that one for one of my cards. And I used this guy for one of my cards. He is hanging out, and it looks like he is enjoying himself a glass of wine. So that's the two stamps that I used for some of my cards. And for this particular card, I also used these little starry, either star or snowflakes. I guess they're stars, so that's part of what I used for one of them. And this paper pad, I got this last year. And it has got some softer, kind of, well, pastel colors. This was from Michaels. Christmas Noel is what it looks like it says here. But these are the kind of colors that come in this pack, as these softer colors. And that's part of what I used for this card, and some others too, actually. So you'll see them kind of throughout. But this is the card, one of them. So here's that stamp with a little snowman. He's got his little arm and his little leg wrapped around that candy cane. And he's just having a good old time. And you see this is the little star stamp that I used. And the ink I used here is the Dusty Concord Distress ink. This is that paper that came from that paper pack. And then right underneath, I don't know if you can see that, there's a really soft pink striped paper that I used as well. And I kind of just went with some different colors, some purples and pinks and some glittery paper. I watercolored my snowman. I don't know if you can tell, the hat is also, and scarf has also been watercolored as well. And I put stickles on it. Same with the peppermint cane. I watercolored them and put some stickles on the cane too. So I just thought that was a precious stamp. I had to have this set. So I did not do the inside of this one. Some I did, some I did not. I just haven't had quite enough time. But this is one of them. I love the stamp. I think that's too cute. And then I'll show you the other one that comes from that stamp set. Part of what I used on this card is this cording, this pink cording. I actually got this last spring. I think I either got it from Joann's or Hobby Lobby. I can't remember. But it's called Bead Landing. And I thought, well, I'm kind of going with some softer colors, and I thought this was really precious. So I whipped this stuff out. And one of the things I used on my card is this die from Impression Obsession. And this is some trims here. So I can't remember if this is one of Miss Anna White's designs or not. I think it is. So it comes with all these die cuts, and you can get that rickrack and the different trim kind of look. So this is one of the things I use on this upcoming card. I also use this one, which is the Crazy Stitch set, and I use the back panel. Again, this is from Impression Obsession. It's an Anna White die. And here is the card that I made with that stuff. So this is that stamp, that little guy who's hanging out, having a glass of wine. It's kind of hanging out. Now these circle dies, they're just from my stash. I think there's something I got from Amazon at one point. But what I did with him is I watercolored him, and I've got some watercolor in the background. And I came in with some of those really light, pretty postage stamp kind of things that you can see here. And I love this color because it's like a background color. It's just a soft, I think it's called Shaded Lilac, and that's another Distress ink color. So I used that. I also came through some more postage stamps, some just random text throughout. And then some really light, this blue was another stamp set that I had that are just random little dots. And I came through that with Tumbled Glass Distress ink. So you get just kind of a whole background of all kind of little things going on there. And this again, this paper here, as well as the pink paper, is from that paper pad I showed you with all the pastel colors. So that's what that is. And I forgot to get the paper pad out for this. This is a bunch of gingham paper from Honeybee Stamps. It's just like a little paper pad. So yeah, I just thought he was too cute. Supposed to be sitting in the snow. I guess he's snockered. I'm not sure really. He does look like he's enjoying himself and relaxing with a little glass of wine there. Again, here's that cording that you can see that came around and wrapped around the panel. And this here, I don't know if you can see that very well, is a little piece of ribbon here. It's this stuff here. And I just thought this was so pretty. It sparkles. I don't know if this is catching the sparkle or not. But it's super like porous, like you see the holes. So sometimes I'm not sure if I really like it up against my cards because of that. So he kind of just went in as like a little filler here. Because I felt like this was just kind of an empty, odd space that I had. But that just kind of filled it up nicely. Now this very back panel, I came in again with that Dusty Concord. You can hardly see it though. I guess you can see it better over here. That's that, it's the back stamp from Impression Obsession, that woven linen. So he's kind of back there in the background. Yeah, I love these colors. I think they're fun. They're not my typical type of colors, but I guess with spring coming at some point one of these days, I kind of like to revive that kind of soft color, you know. And did I do the inside? I did. I did the inside. I got a little bit of ink there, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. This is that Crazy Stitch die again here. And this sentiment came from another stamp set. If kisses were snowflakes, I'd send you a blizzard. And again, I just backed it with some of those papers again. Kind of carried that through. I just think he is too precious. Yeah, and I did stamp the back again. So that's that card. The next one I did uses some dies, some die cuts here. So I used this bowl from My Creative Time. And let's see, this is the medium bowl die. It is MCT D449, and it's that medium bowl. And I used these guys. This is a Tim Holtz. This is Chili and Freezy, that's their name. And they're pretty easy to put together. They're not super intricate with all your pieces, so I like it for that reason. I noticed I've gotten some die sets along the way that are gorgeous, but when I go to put them together, gosh, it's a lot of pieces, and sometimes that kind of detracts me from doing them as often because I don't like super intricate dies. I find myself not making them as much. They're beautiful, but when I go to sit down and put them together, I get a little overwhelmed with it. But anyway, these guys are not hard to put together. They're pretty easy. So that's Chilly and Freezy. And then some of the other dies I used are from Spellbinder. It's called Labels. Label 17 is what it's called. So I use that, and here is that card. So I put Chilly and Freezy in that bowl, and they're hanging out. This little heart die also comes in the Chilly Freezy die set, and I think they love one another. They're hanging out in the bowl, having a good old time. And again, I went with that softer, fun color palette of your pinks and your blues, and I just was feeling it this time. And it says, "You melt my heart." And I just think this is too precious. A lot of this paper is just stuff I've had from my stash. Actually, this stuff here is from some Easter papers that I got a couple years back, and I just thought, well, that fits my color palette. How cute is that? So they're just hanging out. And did I do the inside? I did. That is one of the sentiments from that stamp set that I showed you. This, of course, is from that Spellbinders Labels die. And this guy is also from that Impression Obsession trims. That one I showed you a little bit ago. This guy here. So you have this guy. I just thought they were super fun. I love putting them in that bowl, and I'm trying to really... I see people do that often, whereby they're kind of blending different dyes from different companies and different things and putting together in fun, creative ways. And I want to work on doing more of that. I think that's fun. So there's that guy. And then this one is made with some Echo Park paper pad here. I'll show you that paper pad. I've had this for, gosh, a couple of years, I think. And it's pretty much used up. I've got little remnants here and there, but I loved this one. It had all kind of cool prints in it. I'm trying to see if I can find a name here. It just says Winter, and it's a little 6x6 pad from Echo Park. But yeah, I used a bunch of the papers out of here for this card. And the stamp I used is one I had found at Goodwill. That's this guy right here. I think I got this last year. And let's see, what do we have here? This is Great Impressions from Centralia, Washington. So that's this guy. He's got some ink on him, but hey, I think this is just like a $1 or $2, so I couldn't pass that up. And this is what I have here. I just did some layering of those Echo Park papers, and I had some pretty silvery rickrack trim here. And I watercolored these guys. Again, you can see some really light, soft postage stamp type stuff here, again in the background, with the different colors. I use like a bundled sage distress ink here, and I think this color here is that speckled egg. And then just some really light tumbled glass in the background there. I'm liking that soft background color. Sometimes I want something more bold, but I think that's really just very subtle and cute. But yeah, these are stinking cute. Got a little bit of stickles on the one guy's hat. And the inside, I just took from that paper pad, you know. Want to do more of that as well. I've got tons of paper pads that I don't use all the bits and pieces, so I think that's a good idea to just whip those out and make use of them. And it says, "Let's get cozy." And that is it, y'all. I'm having too much fun with these snowmen, so I'll just keep going. Okay, y'all have a good day. Thank you. Bye.